Raja. Ladies and gentlemen, Raja Singham, founder and managing director of PAC Education Group.
Hello. Okay. Good evening. Thanks for coming back. At least the lot of you are here. There are slides, but I'm going to run through because we are running late and we've all got lives, and I think there's some musicians who are waiting to play. So while we are there, let's get things started. Now, the title is actually supposed to be about the Augmented Polymath, and we'll get there. But I actually want to start off by this whole AI thing has got everybody all excited, and I think Raymond was also talking about AI, and I mean, it's on everybody's lips these days. The key thing I want you all to understand is every previous industrial revolution was actually where we're improving the physical side of things. Tractors, factories, machines, cars. But this is the first time that they're actually working on intelligence. And that's what makes AI different from everything that actually preceded it. And that's where the difference is. But people are afraid of AI. But the reality is none of us have to be afraid of AI. It gives us a chance to do that much more. The only thing is we have now got to learn how to augment and how to strengthen our ability to do things compared to before. Where do I point this? Oh, yeah, okay. Now, so you're not going to be beaten by AI. AI is not going to take away your jobs. The sad thing is it's going to be the humans using AI that are going to take away your jobs. So you got to decide whether you want to keep a job or do you want to let the human use it. So we're all blaming AI, but ultimately it's not AI. People are doing everything. Whether it's your multi-billionaire, and now you've got trillionaires for the first time, it's these guys who are actually out there creating all these products. And while companies like Claude and all will say, it's so dangerous, this is there, it's so powerful, but it doesn't stop them from doing it. They're still going to do it, because if they don't do it, somebody else will. So sitting and sort of taking this thing, I'm not going to use AI, I'm going to boycott AI, I'm not going to do it, it's not going to work. I will give you a couple of things. I used AI. I've lost 55 kilos. And yeah, so, and my biggest partner on that journey was actually AI. Because every time I look at something, whether I look at a supplement, an exercise, I could take this stand and say, give me 20 exercises which I can use with this. It will then create for me 20 exercises. Then I'll say, create for me an image, a WhatsApp image, showing the 20 exercises. It will do that for me. Which are the best 5 exercises? It will do that for me. Now, one problem with AI is, one thing it doesn't do is, it doesn't tell you if it doesn't know the answer. Have you noticed that? Whatever you ask, it gives you an answer. And if it doesn't have an answer, it'll make one up. So please don't get too excited about AI. The AI is not the danger. Humans have forever been fighting to stay relevant. It's not something new. So I give you an example. At the turn of the 19th century, 98% of Americans were farmers. They produced whatever produce that was needed for the Americans to eat and etc. Today, only 2% of Americans are farmers. So that shows you that change. Now, it doesn't mean the other 96% have no jobs. We transition. But what AI, as any technological shift does, is there will be a period where people will be thrown out of jobs. And that period, when these people have to figure out how are they going to reinvent themselves and come back. So for me, I will tell you, it's not, oh, let me learn AI now, or let me learn this AI tool, whether it's Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or DeepSeek or Quen, or now there's Moonshot AI has just come out as well, out of China. It's not the tools. The key thing I want everyone here to remember is this. We only have one thing to understand. How are we going to stay relevant? Darwin put it this way, it is not the strongest nor the most intelligent of species that survives, but the one most adaptable to change. So if you want to be around, whether it's AI or the next big thing or the next big tool, you've got to have a mindset that you are prepared to adapt. If you're prepared to adapt, they can throw anything at you, any technology at you, any new thing at you, you will be able to adapt. Futurist Alvin Toffler put it this way: the illiterate of the future will not those who can't read or write. It'll be those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. And that is what you all have to remember. It's not about the tools. Every day you got to ask yourself, how am I going to stay relevant? If you don't adapt, you're gone. Of course, I always have a caveat here. And the caveat is this. A lot of us get all excited about, I got to do this. I got to be a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, and all. And there are a lot of unhappy billionaires in this planet. And there are a lot of unhappy rich people on this planet. And to me, I always tell people is, whatever makes you happy. You know, the guy sitting by some coconut, on a coconut plantation by the beach, who never has an air conditioner, who just sleeps outside in the beach and just have a hammock, he's happy. And if you are happy, then fine. Because to me, happiness actually has to do not with how much money you have, it's to do with being grateful. If you're grateful for what you have, you will be happy. And I always say this because I don't want to create a bunch of mad people running around like hamsters chasing for something which may or may not appear, and then they're never happy. So you have to find in your own life, when is it enough for you? What makes you happy? Because some people will never be happy. If they got $1 billion, they want 2. If they got 2, they want 4. If they got 4, they want 10. Then they're dead, finish. Don't know what all the money was for. You know, so the key thing is, remember that. I mean, there's nothing to do with the topic, but it's a life lesson. So always ask relevant type question. Always ask, be curious, ask right questions, ask things. Always, curiosity is killed because most of the time, you know, as parents and then as children, they come, how did this happen? What happened there? How come your stomach so big, mommy? You know, okay, to stop asking these questions. So a lot of the time, as people get older and older you get, they will take that creativity, that curiosity out of you. So you need to nurture that. Then you got to go around, acquire and learn new things. Then build competencies, and then you can go and create value and create impact on the world. Now, for me, if you ask me, how does a person stay relevant? There's only one way, learning. You have to learn, and I love Gandhi's quote on this. Live as if you'll die tomorrow, learn as if you live forever. I'm constantly learning. Every day I'm learning. And you don't think, oh, I've got to learn from a professor, or I've got to learn from some lecturer, or I've got to learn from somebody who's got a PhD. All that is nonsense. You learn from every single person around you, because we are all experts at something. And we all have to realize at different points, my TV is dead. Oh, it's back. Okay. Now, at different points, different people are teachers. If I go to the badminton court, which I don't normally because I'm terrible, I will learn from the person who knows how to play badminton. You know, if I end up going somewhere on some computer game or something which I'm awful at, I will learn from that person. I am not competitive in everything to sort of pretend I know what's happening. So, to me, one of the key things that each of us has to have is purpose. You have to have some purpose that drives you. If you don't have a purpose in life, there's nothing that actually causes you to wake up and get excited about the day and get excited about business. And a lot of people come and ask me, like, what business is good to set up? And I'm like, what are you interested? I heard fintech can make a lot of money. There'll be talks, sometimes there'll be like 300 people and they'll put up their hand and say, I'm thinking, I want to go into fintech because I heard there's a lot of money. I said, do you know anything about fintech? No, but I know can make a lot of money. So that is like the worst reason to go into something is I want to go into it because there's a lot of money. If you don't have some level of love or passion or interest in it, when things get tough, you'll quit. You won't find that energy in you to take you over. So for me, you have to have purpose. Now, technology, what it has done actually today is has given us capability. There are tons of things we can do. But the question is, technology has no purpose. AI has no purpose. It is us as humans who have to actually then see what do we want to use this technology for. And the sad thing is, just like everything, you can use it for good or for evil. I mean, you look at the world thing now, the number of wars which are unnecessary, fighting over things which are unnecessary, whether it's trade wars, actual wars, this whole thing in the Middle East, Ukraine, Russia, all of it is unnecessary. But the question is, people don't think that way. So hence it's there. So the key thing is you want to remember how people are not going to remember you whether you're this title, you got this, you got that. They'll remember you for what you did. That's why today, even today, Nelson Mandela is remembered. Mother Teresa is remembered. Mahatma Gandhi is remembered. They're all remembered as people who did something, who tried to create a better world for others. Now, some will look at it and say, well, whatever they did, at the end of the day, Mother Teresa was told, you're doing all of this, but at the end of the day, if you look at the world is still not a great place. But she said, no, whatever I've done, maybe, she said it's like a drop in the ocean. But she actually said, even if it's that one drop, the ocean is still better by that one drop. So the key thing is not to give up on these things because it's there. So AI changes everything, and I'm not going to make this an AI talk, so I'm looking at more broader things. So do learn how to use it. Work with it. Don't make it replace your brain. I think the other day I was giving a talk somewhere, and I told some people that you have to use AI as your second brain, or in the case of some of you all, your first. so they came out and said I was being very mean. I said I'm just stating the obvious because some of you are obviously not using your brain. Now, Polymath. Okay, one of the things I like to push is the fact of being a polymath. Now, what is a polymath? A polymath is, in essence, somebody who has got skills in a diverse range of areas. So I give you an example, like the greatest polymath ever is still Da Vinci. I mean, he's credited. Artist, painter, inventor, sculptor. He virtually could do so many things. And hundreds of years before others even thought of ideas. And you look at his Mona Lisa and so on. His level of being a polymath is sort of unprecedented and also unrivaled. But today, in today's world, you have people like Elon Musk is a polymath. You look at Tesla, you look at SpaceX, then you look at the Boring Company, then you look at his AI. All of it, he has the ability to look. He has set up 8 companies which are all billion-dollar companies. Set up or bought or acquired, but involved in. In many cases, he didn't create Tesla. He went in. He has an eye for, what is there and going in and doing it. Another one is Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is also a polymath. Now, to give you a simple background, when he set up Facebook, he's actually a computer science graduate. He's a techie. He's a guy who does coding. But when he set up Facebook, one of the things he did was he went and studied psychology. Now, why study psychology? Because he had to make sure, as a computer scientist or techie, you know how code works. But he had to understand human behavior because he needed to find a way, how do I hook people and make them stay on my product? Because the only way Facebook and Meta are going to work, now it's called Meta, but Facebook is going to work, is by getting people and then getting them to it's the network effect. The more people on it, the greater the effect will be, and the more you get them hooked, that they got to see how many likes did I get, who said this, what's happening here, this celebrity I follow. He actually studied psychology, which is why one of the things that we all need to do is start looking at learning across fields. Because the polymaths are the ones who are going to change the world. So if you're in one field, like in the old days, I studied law, and I studied medicine, and I studied accounting, and I studied engineering, and I just sit there. And sadly, I'm having big arguments sometimes with the authorities here. Our bodies of knowledge are like that. When you go to the ministry or MQA or whatever, they will say, this is the computer science body of knowledge. And it's a 50-year-old body of knowledge. But they say, you must follow this. So doctors, example, doctors are not supposed, they're just supposed to study all the medical-related direct subjects. You don't study medical law, you don't study technology, you don't study human behavior when you're dealing with patients who are human beings. All of these things have to be there. So what I'm urging people to do is pick up, learn a new language, learn to dance, learn to sing, pick up a musical instrument, anything. Pick up, go and study something in a different field. And I'm actually surprised to see a lot of my graduates from before, students, like yesterday I met a guy who was a computer science degree holder, but he went and did law. And now he's mixing the two, and he's also a DJ and a musician, plays keyboard, which is what I like to see, not being stuck in one field forever. Now, build competencies, not just, the future is all about how you build competencies. You got your degrees. So learning agility, the more agile, keep learning. AI and digital fluency, you need to have digital fluency, and AI. You need to have the ability to do critical thinking, creativity, communication, emotional intelligence. Now, this is one of the things that you need to have, because this new generation, I mean, some of you know, most people, you look a bit older. The new generation, they are really, I mean, some call them the snowflake generation. They are fragile. And part of this is actually to do with this whole connectivity online. You post a picture up on Facebook, and then you got 2 likes, and then your friend got 300 likes. And then you're miserable, spending the whole day thinking about, I got 2 likes. You know, why he got 300 likes? I look better, why nobody likes me? They get depressed about every single thing. So my thing is, if you're going to give other people so much power over you, I mean, it is human. Everybody will want to see, like, hey, how many fellows viewed my video, or how many fellows did this. But the more you get stuck into that and make that be your start and end of everything, the more worried you are. In cyberbullying, earlier, you know, when you went to school, the big size fellow there or whatever, the big bully might beat you up in school, and then you got back, you were fine. Now they can come and troll you online and annoy you online, and this results in people. So, in actual fact, it is sad that these days, in a world where they have everything, people are more fragile, more sad, more depressed than before. You know, adaptability and purpose-driven leadership. So these are just 8 things which I asked people to look at. Build your personal brand. Now, this is a very important thing for every one of us. We all have a brand. I have a brand, you have a brand. Every single person in this room is a brand. People think of brands like Apple or Microsoft or Disney, you know, those big Coca-Cola, Mercedes as brands. But in actual fact, every one of us is a brand. And that brand is actually being built by how others perceive you. So every interaction you have online, every interaction you have with another human being face to face is your brand in action. And I keep telling people, you have to build that brand and you have to protect that brand, because that is your biggest asset. So I give you a simple example, Musk. When you look at Musk, sometimes, you know, he behaves and you wonder, like, my God, I mean, especially during that time when he was running around. I thought it was not funny when he bought Twitter. And I think we are 2 very different type of human beings. When he brought Twitter, there is a picture where he's carrying a sink and walking. He's on CNN, no, they show. He's carrying a sink. Now, me being the idiot I am, saying, what, this is quite hands-on. He's carrying the sink and he's walking out with the sink. You know what he was doing? He said, I'm throwing everybody out and the kitchen sink. So literally, I'm saying we cannot be a more opposite type of way. Then when he brought the power saw, and then he said, I'm going to cut the Doge, the department of, set up his Doge, and then going to cut the government this thing, and started taking a saw and running around. But having said that, so that brand of it is not good. And that's why even when part where he supported Trump, they lost, because people don't go for that. But when it comes to his brand in terms of investment, SpaceX is not making money. Tesla is making money, but doesn't justify where it is. Tesla now has a market capitalization which is bigger than all the other car companies put together. Mercedes, BMW, Toyota, all put together, don't even reach Tesla's market cap. And if you take SpaceX, a loss-making company, crossing and him becoming, 3 trillion, on the basis of what is there. So he has a brand that people will believe that this guy knows what he's going to do, and we are prepared to, whether they are fundamentals, whether they are making profit, not making profit, nobody cares. Now, I'm not trying to say that you build your brand according to that, but I'm trying to say people don't realize the importance of your brand, your personal brand. It's not just corporate brands that are important. So reinvent yourself. Okay, I want to keep things short. Stay curious always, keep learning, embrace AI, build competencies, and create impact. So this is it. I always talk about creating impact. When we live here, the idea and success to me is actually ultimately about how you create impact. So to give you an example, during the pandemic, we are a small company. We are a private company. It's my wife and myself are the main 2 people. We are big for a family-sized company. And during the pandemic, I actually looked at things and things were really a mess. So that time we decided, because of technology, using technology, we went out and got food given to 200,000 people in terms of food packs for 14 days. We got permission from the police. I had 15 vehicles that we could go out. We worked with Lala Move, got the food distributed. We ran free education from Standard 1 to Form 5 with 180,000 students. We ran a digital employee program for 8,000 people. Those courses were 5,000 ringgit each, claimable under HRD Corp. But we offered it free for 40 million ringgit. The key thing is, none of it, we did the COVID fund. We worked with Rotary, we did the COVID fund, got 450,000 to hospitals at the time they needed. Flood relief, 500,000. Food relief was 3 million. Now all of this was nothing. Everybody thought like, oh, how come you are doing this and how? The reality is, there's technology. That today, anyone can do anything. It is just a matter of, do you want to just get up and do it? Or do you want to, the human behavior is always this, I'll get the next one. Somebody will sort this problem out, I will get the next one. For me, for a lot of people, I'm very fortunate. I send a WhatsApp on my phone, I will get friends who will say, I'll donate. Some guys will call and say, I'll give 50,000, I'll give 100,000. Because they said, we can't do this, you can, I know you will do a good job of it, we will help you. Now some of the people, they don't want to hear from me anymore because they keep getting WhatsApps. After a while, they say, block this guy. He doesn't talk to me except when he sends me, we need help for these children or we need help for this. But the thing is, we set up one, and people will call me and scold me. This is the funniest one. I'll give you an example. We did food aid. Then we did education. And a friend of mine who's quite a prominent lawyer called me up. Rajan, I know you're giving food and all that, but have you seen the number of people who are committing suicide? This was during the pandemic. And then she sends me all these videos of fellows jumping off the flats, apartments. So she said, can't you do something? So I'm like, okay, boss, let me think about what I can do. So I then realized that actually Rotary had set up this mental health council thing at our place 6 months before COVID, with a view to launching a mental health coalition with the government and the mental health bodies. So I reached out to them. Then they said, we were going to spend about a year to get this. I said, no, we got 7 days. We took 5 days. We created a website, put the 30 mental health providers on, and got it on MySejahtera. Now, it is nothing difficult. But it just meant, on MySejahtera, we was there for 1 year plus, anyone who had mental, and then with KKM, we trained 150 responders. So what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times, if you're all from companies, if we apply, what is my job? What is your job? As an entrepreneur, our job is to solve problems. And we solve problems to make a profit. We can very easily solve problems, not to make a profit, but to help the community, to help marginalized communities. So we just run around doing these kind of things. Like for refugee kids, we are the largest school for refugee kids. We have 150 plus. Stateless children, orphan kids. We all take these kids. And you know what's amazing or not? Like last 2 years ago, we had a refugee kid who had 4 A stars and a place in Oxford to study. From Pakistan. And we have so many of these kind of cases. Stateless children, they can't get PTPTN. Now we fight and then see. So we work with about 200 NGOs. That's my main job, is we work with about 200 different NGOs. We run in here, run in there, and try to see how do we solve problems. And we have some capacity to think differently because they are thinking like an NGO. They're not business people. People like you guys, many of you all here, are from the corporate side. You have greater resources. That's why someone said, 3 things. There are 3 bodies involved in social good. One is government. Problem with government is they are only concerned about the election. 5 years they're there. Before they get elected, they'll tell you, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll help you. After they get elected, they won't care for you. 6 months before the next election, they'll all come back, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this. If you elect us again, because I know we didn't deliver the last time, but give us a chance the next time. Their time frame is always a 5-year time frame, 4-year time frame is too short. And they got a lot of things on their plate. And then if they go and help one community, the other fellows will make noise. They help this fellow, they make noise. That's the other thing about human beings I cannot understand. Okay? The second group is NGOs. NGOs also, one, they're a bunch of old crooks there, which are, they really don't know what they're doing and they're messing things up. And there are some really good people. But the problem with the really good guys also sometimes is the resources. They don't have the financial resources, they don't have the technology resources, and they need help. So it brings us to the third group, the corporates. The giant companies. like the Microsofts, the Amazons, the IBMs, anything. These guys have a lot of money. They have a lot of tech, and they have a lot of smart people. And it's these guys that can come in. And some of us, like the smaller corporates, sometimes can go in and work with these guys and get them and say, okay, we run. That's why a lot of things we do. We've got like the ASEAN Award 7 times for CSR. We've got, tons of awards for social good work. But in actual fact, it's not me. It is really not me. It is just people around. Malaysians are one of the most generous group of people on this planet. They just need sometimes somebody to say, hey, this is here, this is the problem, we need some help. And they will come. But somebody has to make that call. And you guys just understand, I always say it's not me, I can't do it. I don't have the capacity. The only thing I have is, they will tell you, hey, there's this problem, let's sit down, let's see how we can solve this. And then I try and bring the power of the community to come in, 500 volunteers to go and volunteer for flood relief. And just imagine if more corporations, that's why Henry Ford put it this way, he was asked this question, what is success? And he said, actually, success to me is when you have done more for the world than the world has done for you, in simple terms. So if we had a planet where 6 billion people were doing more for the world than the world has done for them, we'll be living in a very, 6-7 billion, we'll be living in a very different kind of planet. Instead, we're living in a planet where most people are just concerned what I can take, and I really don't care about anybody else. And that's the key problem. So who does the future belong to? It's not based on what you know now. All of us I have a certain point of knowledge today. You have a certain point of knowledge today. It is not who knows most today. With the rate at which technology, AI, the whole thing is developing, the future is going to belong to those who learn fastest and adapt fastest. That's where. And those who lead with purpose and embrace technology. And ultimately, in this whole AI world, everybody is there, AI. What we fight for is to keep our humanity, our empathy, our values, our judgment, our kindness. All of these are human values. So in a world of AI, what I'm saying is, let's become more human. But use AI so that we can actually maximize our human potential. Don't fear it. We use AI. So we are, in the end, augmented polymaths. We are augmented human beings. These are two things. So being a polymath and also the AI side. And I am actually done. Okay. Hope I didn't bore you all to death. Now there's a second part to this thing, which...
There is a second part coming right up. Once again, ladies and gents, Raja Singham, founder of BAC Education Group. Just on behalf of the hall, Raja, I'd just like to thank you for all the great work that you do for society as well. We'd like to hand over a token of appreciation. We'd like to invite TC back up on stage. Just pause for 1 second. We've got our official photographer.